Joining me now for the headlines and more, Deputy Executive Director at the Institute of Public Affairs, Daniel Wild, and the Australian's media writer, Sophie Elsworth. Well, welcome to you both. We'll start with paid parental leave. $250 million today on the table. The scheme costs billions. It's paid for as a social security benefit, so it's not based on a woman's actual wage. It's like welfare. But they're adding superannuation in. So on top of the billions, $250 million, announced, of course, by the Finance Minister, Katie Gallagher. But what really struck me in that speech today, Sophie, was the fact that she's saying from here on in, you're not going to get a government contract if you're a business unless you've got gender targets. Now, some people might say, well, OK, fair enough. But what about if they have race targets? What if they require people to have X number of transgender staff on there to be diverse, or Aboriginal staff in a company, if that's going to be where this thing ends up?
Well, Peter, this is just another burden, I believe, for businesses that have to meet these targets. And I think it removes the fact that shouldn't they be employing people who are good at their jobs, not box ticking? And I think this will be a concern for a lot of employers, you know, who now think, OK, have we got so many men, so many women, so many transgender? That's going to be an impact. And also back to the super amounts that they're going to pay on the paid parental leave. Today, they were unable to really explain the cost involved. It's still not really known. So that's another thing that the taxpayers are going to have to pick up. So I think there's a lot of things that remain unclear here.
I feel sorry for poor old business, though. They're the ones paying the taxes, and they're being bullied by government with the money they pay as taxes coming back the other way.
That's right, Peter. And this is just another thing with all the criteria they have to meet, with all the red tape they have to work through, yet another thing that they have to meet. But this is what, you know, you get under Labor. They introduce these rules and laws, and this is what the consequences are. They have to meet these targets.
Daniel, we know now it's been confirmed there were people inside UNRWA, the UN agency that provides aid, or supposed to provide aid to Palestinians, that were involved in the atrocities on October 7. That is without dispute. There's been a debate in the Parliament. Of course, there's been a pause now by the federal government on paying out Australian money to UNRWA. But there's been a debate led by people in the Teal movement that we should resume the funding. I am concerned with these comments from the Prime Minister. Have a listen. We haven't got the grab, but the Prime Minister's basically come out and said, I've got an open mind, it's all under review and we don't rule it out being resumed. Now, we should never give another dollar to UNRWA.
Absolutely we shouldn't, Peter. As you said, they've been implicated in atrocities. They have had their funding implicated in funding Hamas. They've had their funding implicated in going to schools which have been teaching anti-Semitic content. So no Australian dollars should be going to this UN organisation. The other thing, Peter, is you use the term Teal movement, and that's exactly right. They claim to be independents, but every single one of those Teals signed the letter to Foreign Minister Penny Wong demanding that they reinstate the funding. And what this shows is that the Teals are nothing more than just cashed-up Greens that are protecting the inner-city coveted interests of the elites. They want to talk about integrity. If they want to show integrity, they should refuse to have the word independent next to their name at the next election and put Teal movement or Teal party, because they're all acting as one on this, on net zero, on the voice to Parliament. They all think the same, they all speak the same.
You're not wrong. Teal's in better clothing, Greens in better clothing. I like that line.